Hello, uh, welcome to this new session of SAP ERP Innovation. Today's session is about the evolution of SAP S4 HANA from ECC. So how it configured and how it established in the earlier time from 1972. Then we discussed about the innovation and the introduction of SAP in from 1972 to till 2020. So among the chapters, we did have left something information about S4 HANA and its evolution to the business organization. So below are the ERP softwares by the SAP company. First, the ECC. ECC does have the various versions like 5.0, 6.0. The latest running application in the market is 6.0. Then S4 HANA introduced. We're moving to the next. So, have a look on 1979. In the 1979, the R2 architect, uh, I've told before the 1972, the R1 was introduced, the architect 1, where the presentation and the application and the database, the three were in one structure, where the presentation of the database and the process of the database, where those database were running in one application. So that was the R1 architect when the company was started from. Then in 1979, the R2 architect was introduced with the two database. One is presentation layer and is separated from the R1, where the application and the database, these two layer combined and this one separation is made. This is presentation. And in 1992, the R3 architect, three architects were introduced. One is presentation. Then we separate here the application and the database. And in the earlier discussion, we discussed how the presentation layer works and how why it is separated from the application and the database layer, and the why three database is separated among all. Then in 2011, the SAP HANA introduced in-memory technology, means where the company financial information will be running in memory technology. So in the old time, the SAP used to store its database in the other companies' database platform like IBM, Oracle, Microsoft SQL database. The company used to have three or four companies' data where the business organizational financial information, all the business related information used to store in those database. Then the company wants to enhance the uh, proficiency for the security and the governance. It decided to develop its own database. Now we call it uh, the HANA database. HANA is the database, and S4 is the generation. S4 database. This is why we call nowadays this is S4 HANA. So what usually happen in this S4 HANA and how it make uh, different activities, how it make a difference. I mean, we will discuss what are the main reason and how it make difference from ECC to S4 HANA. In the so here have a look on the old system of the database operation. Okay, so in the ECC time, first the data was transactions. Okay, the data were transacted when the end user make entries in the software, make entries in the uh, system. Those data were transacted into the electronic data. Then the data were analyzed. Then it was accelerated. There is three copy of table, how the data were entered and how they were generated as a report. So now between these three tables, the one process was running, that is ELT process. That is electronic. That is ELT process, the extend transfer level process. So, and this is the vision of a S4 HANA. And we define one major reason why three databases were removed from the system is the old database, and the S4 HANA database was introduced by the SAP SE. The reason is inherent data latency. Inherent data latency means it is delay in processing and delivering the data from one table to another table. Means once the data is being entered and it transferred to the next table, that is analyze table, and here in this table the data used to get analyzed itself. Then it transfer the data to the accelerate table where the data is processed and it generates the information, I mean the output information, where we discuss the what presentation level. Here the presentation level, the accelerated data, the generated data will be showing on this presentation level. Where the presentation level, it is a graphic user interface used by the end user. This is presentation level, where using the graphic interface, the data will be showing on the system. So this is the vision of S4 HANA. And the S4 HANA is of, as I have told, the S4 is for the generation and HANA is the database. Now, by boycotting this three table, the company made the two table. One table is the database and one is for the process of the entered data. Here, they transact the data. Here, in the second table, the data will be transact and it will be analyzed as well. As before, it was in three table. Now it is in two table, the two database table. Wherein one data table, the data will be transacted and it will be analyzed in memory analyzed and live reading of the data. Then in 2014, the SAP Simple Finance, the Simple Finance powered by HANA, there is another application. There are various applications in the market. As I have told earlier, the ECC S4 HANA, Business One, and Business by Design. So three or four kind of applications are available in the market according to their requirements. According to the business requirements, if the company is running globally and there is another company global running uh, on the every state, I mean the nationally and internationally we can define the what the company business one and the company by design can be applicable for the mid-size and small size company, where the SAP HANA is applicable for the global companies, international companies. So on the basis of their requirements, on the category, on the turnover basis, the company does implement the kind of applications provided by the SAP company. Then in 2015, here the SAP Finance powered by the HANA. Here the new table is added. That is AC Docker table for the Universal Journal. Where Universal Journal is a table is replaced uh, by all bulk of tables where these tables were used in the in the version ACC or the older version of the SAP. So by removing, not by removing, we can say by replacing those tables, the one table is added. This is AC Docker table. Okay, AC Docker table. Then 2015, the SAP HANA was introduced. Okay, in 2015, the SAP HANA was introduced. So what are the features the this version bring into the market? The features are simplified the data model. As I have told, the simplified data model is uh, by removing those transactions or to transactional data, and to get them analyzed, and at the last to get it accelerate the data, and to make modification, and to generate the database as a final report. Okay. So this is the simplified data model. Here now in this data model, there is a two table. There is a two database. One is a HANA, and where the data will be stored, and another one is transacts. The data will be transact and it modify. The data will be transact and analyze the memory, and analyze in memory features. And then the new user appearance with Fury. Fury is a Fury is introduced. Why? It is a mobile application. Fury is one mobile application where uh, the end user can make the configuration and can make entry into the system using the Fury app. This is the interface. This is a cloud-based interface where real-time activities, where the real-time configuration can be made into the system, and the Fury does provide as as the uh, as the real server cloud application provide. The Fury does provide uh, as much as far the cloud system provide. The Fury is providing the same features, where you can manage all the master data, where you can manage all the currency valuation, where you can manage the bank transactions, all the activity as it is set to the server cloud application is also available with the Fury application, the Fury app. And another changes, or the big changes we can tell with the multi-tenancy. The multi-tenancy means where where one user when one user will enter the data, it will be freezed, and the another tenant we can define the tenant as a user, okay, business user. If one tenant has entered its business information, it is freezed with the S4 HANA database, and where one or many tenant can uh, enter the business information into the server, where the server will freeze its database, and it will be not be sharing with another tenant. It means it maintains the secrecy of the data and governance. This is the major point we can define. The choice of deployment during the implementation, or during the migration of data from ACC to S4 HANA, or migration from non-SAP system, or from the legacy system to S4 HANA. There are choice of deployment, how the company will be selecting, how the company will be deciding the choice of deployment. I mean, to deploy, I mean, to install the ERP or the S4 HANA. I mean, the choice of adopting, the way of adopting the software or the server into the business organization. So here, the three type of deployment. One is cloud, and the one is on-premise deployment. Another one is last one is hybrid deployment. So here also the on-premise deployment. So what are the features, and what are the I mean, we can say the negative and the positive points. The features are given or not given, rather than comparing the other deployment types. We can define here. We can discuss. So S/4HANA is developed in the organization's own database center. If a company wants to deploy the S/4HANA, the company can deploy the server or the software in the organization's own database center. Then the company can have the full control over the system, its implementation, configuration, and modification of a licensed software. Means if a company deploy the S/4HANA on-premise or on-premise cloud, and we can say the on-premise deployment, then the company can have the full control over the system. The company can make the implementation, can make the configuration, can make the modification. and it is a license-based software. The software has to be purchased. So then another features is the internal IT team. The company's IT team can manage the security. Can manage security. As I told, the multi-tenancy level, the multi-tenancy system is added into the S4 HANA. Hence, the many tenant, the two tenant or four tenant entered their business information into the S4 HANA database, where one tenant can access its enter database only. We cannot access the other tenant database or the other tenant business information. So this is the security, this is the secrecy, uh, the confidential, we can say the confidential information of the business organization cannot be shared with another tenant. It is freezed by the company SAP. So the internal IT team can manage the security and governance. The most important thing is to choose the time for the implementation. Once the company has developed its S/4HANA database on the on-premise deployment, then company can choose the time for the implementation. So then in deployment, organization is able to run the application and the entire business in the cloud. With the digital core includes finance, costing, sale, purchase, uh, human resources, now we call human capital management. So these are the core segments the company can run on cloud deployment. It is a live running application. It is a live running the business information in the cloud. The cloud means the organization will be able to run the application, the entire business process in the cloud. Okay, so this is the difference. The entire business information, entire business process will be running in the cloud only. Then two types of cloud deployment we can say. One is private and this public cloud. So this is the difference. So the server. So what activity make it difference from another one? We can say the server. The servers of the server of the cloud. In the private, it is dedicated server. There will be no any lack of running on the server application. Okay, and like there is a building, and in a building there is a hundred number of flat, the hundred number of room, and one room is dedicated to one person. Means the one room is dedicated to one person, and the one per person can do their day-to-day activity within the specific room, within the that purchase room. Okay, this is the private server. As at the another side, there is a public server, and then the public server is here with one room is defined in the same building. The one room is that or another room is selected by the five people, or the room is named as public server. And the public server, if in a day if have a work of 1 hour 2 hour, and we can go for the public server, where in a one room a 5% will come and do the activity by sitting at different position, and that public room, then we can define it's a chance of lacking in the system. If you usually in a one single room, if you will get in and get out to a single room, the 5% will be more making movement of their activities in a one room. It may lead to make noises. It may lead to make disturbance. It may lead to make lack of or any misinformation sharing. Okay, so this is the difference between the server of private and public cloud. So the basically the global companies who trade globally, they choose the dedicated server because of their activities runs 24/7 in a day. So they choose the dedicated server to work efficiently and accurate accurately. Okay, and the second option is configuration. The configuration is allowed in the private cloud. The configuration is allowed, but in the public cloud, the configuration is not allowed. Modification is not allowed in both. Both are not allowed for the modification and the release type. How the how they can release their updation. If the company has released its update in 2025, now the private cloud server can premise. Okay, sorry. The private cloud server can deploy its new version like on-premise. On-premise, uh, uh, we- they will choose the private cloud server client will choose the deployment time. But for the public cloud, there is a fixed time and fixed date. The fixed period will be um, given to the public cloud server agents. Okay, and there were our third one is hybrid deployment. The hybrid deployments, um, this is uh, uh, this is the combination of both on-premise and cloud deployment. So how the company runs on hybrid deployment? Take an example of Tata Group. Tata Group runs its software. Okay, Tata Group run its software in the on-premise in the on-premise deployment or the okay, entire Tata Group, like we can say the Tata Steel. The Tata Steel run its software on-premise cloud deployment. Then the Tata Group having its subsidiaries like TCS or Tata Education, Tata Insurance, or Tata Health. Okay, so these are the subsidiaries of the Tata Group. Or you can say the subsidiaries for the sale and the collection of the human resource. I mean, this is the success factor. The success factor is a tool for the business to manage their human capital management. Okay, so these are the subsidiary activities and acquisitions where the company can may go for the cloud deployment manner. Okay, so this is the basically where the company want 10% of the or 50% of the activities ru- managed on the on-premise deployment, and another 50% of activities or the dependent of the 50% of employees or the members or the core activities are going to be managed on the cloud deployment. So this is the example of a hybrid deployment, we can say. So thank you, and please go for the 10 subscribe. Thank you.